Brian here with Guitars, Whiskey, and Golf, back with another ubiquitous whiskey list video. I figured as we're nearing the end of the year, I'd throw my hat into these endless whiskey list videos that we see out there, but they're a lot of fun, and I always watch them because I always look for things that maybe I can add to my collection that I think I'm going to really enjoy. So hopefully I can give you some recommendations here that you can add to your collection at various price points, because I broke this list down to 7 whiskeys that I want to have in my collection really at all times at various price points. So depending on what your budget is like, hopefully I can offer some information to you that will help you identify something you don't have that might be fun to add to your collection, depending on what your budget is. So without hesitation, let's get started on the first one. Rittenhouse Rye. Rittenhouse Rye is unbelievable. It's like 25 bucks, maybe 28 bucks, depending on pricing in your area. This is an absolutely delicious bottled in bond 100 proof rye whiskey. I always say that it has almost like a spiced rum kind of aspect to it because it's sweet. It's really approachable, but it's got all these warm spices to it. So you can sip this neat, absolutely. It makes amazing cocktails though, because it's got this really spicy, warm, spicy character to it that makes fantastic cocktails, especially like old fashions and Manhattans and things like that. So Rittenhouse Rye, 25 to 28 bucks, a bottled in bond rye that is amazing. I always have a Rittenhouse Rye in my house. Absolutely love it. So put that one aside there. The next one, Jack Daniel's Triple Mash. Jack Daniel's Triple Mash, I think, is such a good little blended whiskey. This is a blend of their Tennessee whiskey, of course, but it's also got rye in it, and it has their American single malt. So it's 3 different whiskeys blended together, bottled in bond at 100 proof. And, you can get this somewhere in the mid 30s is going to be the price range. So I'm going to be basically level jumping on my price tiers here, giving you an option in each one of these price tiers. So this one falls into that sort of mid 30s price range, 35 bucks, 38 bucks, something like that. And this is such an enjoyable whiskey. It's delicate. It's got all sorts of really nice spice notes, but it's also nice and fruity. Doesn't hit you over the head with proof. It's not like tough to get through. It's got an unusual flavor palette due to the mash bill being rye, Tennessee whiskey, and American single malt. But I tell you, it's got beautiful fruit components. It's got a nice spice punch. And at 100 proof, it's kind of like one of those kind of perfect proof points as well. And you just can't go wrong with the price point, mid 30s. By the way, the whole bonded series is very good. The Tennessee whiskey bonded, as well as the rye, I think all 3 are very good for their price point. Jack Daniel's Triple Mash, kind of a different whiskey, something to try that's a little unique. Next one, Bardstown Bourbon Company, their Origin Series. This is a 6-year-old bourbon. This is so delicious. I've brought this bottle a couple of times to my Friday night bourbon share. A couple of guys get together in the neighborhood and we just get together and hang out and drink bourbons and ryes and talk. And I always bring a bottle over. I've brought this a couple of times. Everybody I've had taste this bottle absolutely loves it. It's really sweet and inviting. Caramels, brown sugars, which I really love in a bourbon. I tend to like a really sweet bourbon. I like that. I do like spicy and hotter stuff as well, but sometimes I just love enjoying a bourbon that's just loaded with that caramel and brown sugar, those classic bourbon notes, a lot of vanilla that you want. This fits the bill. It's a 6-year-old bourbon. Price point is around 40 bucks. So now we've kind of level jumped into that kind of low 40s price range. I've picked this up at Total Wine and More for 40 bucks. You cannot go wrong with this. This is a beautiful bourbon. All right. Moving on. Knob Creek 12-year-old. You know, initially when this first came out, I could not find this in my area. And when I did see it, it was easily 70 to 75 bucks on the shelf. The price on Knob Creek 12 is coming down dramatically. I'm now seeing this. Typically, I'm seeing this online. I still don't see it in my local liquor stores that often, but it is becoming a lot more readily available. And you can get this on Preet's Barrel. I'm seeing it online much more often now at like 58 bucks. So a 12-year-old bourbon at $58, come on. You just can't go wrong with it. This is an amazing bourbon. Again, lots of caramel, lots of brown sugar, some nice sweet oak, and a nuttiness that you get in the Knob Creek. And the Knob Creek also has this kind of, I call it the Knob Creek funk. It's almost kind of like a wet wood kind of a aroma and translates to the palate. I really like it. It's kind of a distinguishing characteristic of Knob Creek, but Knob Creek 12 at 58 bucks now. This is an absolute banger of a whiskey. You got to have a Knob Creek 12, especially now at that price range. All right, level jumping now into the mid 60s. James E. Pepper Decanter Series. This is a barrel strength bourbon, but I would imagine it's a low entry proof into the barrel because it's barrel strength at 108 proof, which is pretty low for a barrel strength. I don't know what I can say about James E. Pepper, but if you love bourbon, there's no way you're not going to love James E. Pepper. It's one of those bourbons that I kind of label quintessential bourbon, right? Does it have any like flavors that you're like, oh my God, I've never tasted that before? No, but it's got every flavor component that you look for in a good bourbon. Some nice fruit, cherry, some sweet oak, candied caramel, and brown sugar. It's just a perfect sipping bourbon. I just, when I tasted it, I was like, this is everything I want in a good, solid bourbon. I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't call it like crazy unique. It's just that it just hits on, it ticks every box is what I'm saying. So James E. Pepper, can't go wrong with that. All right, now we're level jumping again into about the $70 price range. Penelope 9-year. I'm like very mixed on my feelings with Penelope. Some stuff I've tried, I'm like, very lukewarm on. Not with the Penelope 9-year. This is an unequivocal, that's not a word, unequivocal recommendation. This is one of the bourbons that I can't recommend highly enough. I just don't think if you like bourbon, there's any way you're not going to love this. This would make an absolutely amazing holiday gift for somebody. If you have a bourbon lover in your family and you're looking to spend around 70 bucks on an amazing whiskey, look for Penelope 9-year. It will appeal to any bourbon drinker out there. In a lot of ways, I kind of put it in the same category as James E. Pepper in that it's unbelievably well-rounded, beautiful fruit components, beautiful sweet flavors of caramel and brown sugar, nice balance of oak. It has everything. Great age, and it's a great proof point as well. It's like 110 proof. So great proof point. I think it's absolutely worth the 70 bucks. All right. So last one. Now we're jumping into a little bit different of a category. But I wanted to mention the Stranahan's American single malt, finished in sherry. Um, Unbelievable single malt. I first of all, I love Stranahan's American single malts. I love their base flavor components are very fruit forward, lots of stone fruit. They're floral, very approachable to drink. They just make amazing American single malts, and this sherry finished one, wow. It has amazing chocolate notes, raspberry notes. So it's got that undeniable Stranahan's base flavor, which is a lot of stone fruit, but then mixed in it, you've got this chocolatey raspberry note that makes it just a fantastic whiskey. So there you go, 7 whiskeys. Now, when you're doing videos like this, the 7 best whiskeys, or things like that, these are just 7 whiskeys at 7 different price points. By the way, this was about $75 for me. So, I could probably easily do 3 more videos like this, recommending 7 whiskeys at all these 7 different price points, because, well, I've got a lot of bottles in my collection. But I picked these initially because these are ones I'm always going to replace. I'm always going to have them. So I hope I'm giving you some ideas for whiskeys that maybe you haven't picked up, and you've been maybe on the fence about, should I get a James E. Pepper at $65, or should I pick up a Penelope 9 at $70 or $75? Hopefully I knocked you off the fence and gave you some ideas to pick some whiskeys that maybe you don't have in your collection. All right, everyone, take care. Have a great day. Bye.